the Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment. You ever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the stat boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeeps here keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dori Lou. And a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa D-18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show.
Hello, my internet fans. Welcome to this latest edition of Stat Boy Sports Bar featuring Dori Lou. We have everybody here. We do have lots to talk about, especially when we reach college football, because the disclaimer will be up. There's some serious things going on in there. And of course, as always, if you want to dictate the conversation, do what's normally at the bottom of the screen of the ticker. This time, we're also promoting Open Mic Night Disney Karaoke on November 18th. That's why all of us, in some way, shape, or form, are wearing something Disney. I, of course, wearing the only thing Disney I have, my old name tags. Dori Lou has her villain shirt. Producer Jeff has got his okay. And Baller G has got his Mickey Mouse lounge pants on. Go figure that out. But, of course, if you want to dictate the conversation, super chat. It's as simple as that.
Hey, Stat Boy.
Yes, Stat Girl.
Big Baller G has got one more Disney thing that he's always wearing. You forgot about.
Let's see it. Show it, Baller.
Oh, yes, the tattoo.
Yes.
Permanent on there. Let's see. There you go.
There's the mouse. Yes. Disney tattoos. And I will quickly say this. Super quick mini rant. Disney tattoos, I have seen some of them that are so good, you would think they were actually, that the tattoo artist actually has a degree in Disney. They are so perfect. Some of them you can tell that they, the circle isn't right or the ears are off, but some of them are just so perfect. I'm like, you have to have a Disney degree to do that. Anyway,
Or a really good stencil.
Indeed. All right, let's start with the topic on hand. We always started off with the world's oldest sport, if not older, and that is PGA Tour golf. The Butterfield Bermuda Championship in where is that? Southampton, Bermuda. The winner is Colombian Camilo Villegas. And he was in a 9-year drought. It has been 9 years since he last won a tournament of any kind on the PGA Tour. Of course, this is the final tournament going into the FedEx Fall Cup finale, which is coming up this weekend. It's the RSM Classic in St. Simon's Island, Georgia. And this tournament, of course, is to just, get people ready for the 2024 season, which starts in January. So after this tournament comes up this weekend, everybody gets a break from golf. And then in January, the FedEx Cup starts all over again. And there you can see him winning his trophy that kind of looks like the Bermuda Triangle. So it's made of that. And he also dedicated this win to his little daughter, who he sadly lost to brain cancer. So this win was not just for himself. It was for the memory of his little baby daughter. There you go. Congratulations, Camilo Villegas of Colombia. And then next week, we close the book on golf for the 2023-2024 season. All right, let's talk about the ladies. Go ahead, Dori Lou.
The ladies, they've been playing the Anika, which is the final tournament leading into the season finale. The CME Group Tour Championship, which is the CME Group Tour Championship. I will get my words out. The Anika was won by American Lilia Vu. This is her fourth LPGA tournament overall and her fourth win this year. She shot 6 under 66 in the final round and won by 3 strokes. After her win, Lilia was named the number 1 ranked player in the world. The CME Group Tour Championship will feature the top 60 ladies that have played and have been featured in our reports this season. Charlie Hull won the championship in 2016. Jin Young Ko won it back-to-back in 2020 and 2021. And the defending champ is Lydia Ko from New Zealand.
Very good, very good, very good indeed. So when the ladies are done next week, we close the book on their tour as well, and they get a bit of a break until they come back for the 2024 season as well. All right, we move on to tennis. There we go. Okay. No graphics for tennis this week because, one, the men are playing in Turin, Italy. They are playing the ATP Finals. This was similar to what the ladies did last week. They take the top 8 players and they play round robin. They break them into 2 groups of 4, and those 4 play each other. Then the other 4 play each other. Then the top 4 play in the semifinals until there's 1 person left. Unfortunately, the guy that I have been hyping all season because the flag is on the wall, Stefanos Tsitsipas, had to retire due to a back injury of some kind. He only played in 3 games in his match, and he retired. So sadly, his season is done. Currently, I'm not certain if it did finish or what is happening now, but the Joker, Novak Djokovic, was playing against Jannik Sinner, and this was live. I'm not certain if the match is over or not, but Jannik Sinner represents Italy. He is Italian. And the Italian crowd, of course, was backing up Sinner and kind of getting under the skin of Djokovic. And so there was a very interesting thing in the game of tennis when you serve the ball, and if you hit the net and if the ball goes into play, that is called a let. It's not a full fault, but you get to do the serve over again without penalty. Now, before it was up to the chair umpire who sits high atop the court, and it's up to that person, him or her, to make that call. With technology being a thing, the ball will hit a sensor if it hits the net and goes into play. There's an audible beep. It could be like a tiny little brush. It could be a hit, whatever. It beeps. That gives the signal to the chair umpire to call the let. But Djokovic, and this happened in either the second or third set, and I saw it live, he let the umpire know that she's not doing her job, that it's okay for Sinner to let the ball and the sensor doesn't go off, but every time he lets the ball, being Djokovic, it's a catastrophe. So yeah, so that's what was happening there. And next week they will crown the winner, and this will close the season. But there is another tournament sponsored by Next Gen. They're promoting it as the finals as well. So I do need to do a little bit more homework on that. But as of right now, this will end men's tennis. Dori Lou, what's going on in women's tennis now that the season is over for them?
We don't have much right now. We're just kind of waiting to see what's going on. Sorry, guys. My notes are not organized today. I was doing a few other things. Let's see. For next,
do you have the sheet that I gave you?
You gave me a sheet for golf.
Tennis is on the other side.
Oh, well, there we go.
Dun dun.
Yeah, well, it's one of those days.
Okay.
The 2023 WTA Tour is officially over, with Polish player Iga Swiatek named as the overall tour champ. She won 6 tournaments out of 8 appearances in those tournaments where she reached the finals. She earned nearly $10 million in prize money.
Jesus.
Well, look, you become an excellent tennis player and you can become a millionaire too, right?
I'm in the wrong profession.
We all are.
The final official tournament was the Billie Jean King Cup, and it was won by Canada as they defeated Italy. The 2024 season starts with the Brisbane International and Auckland Classic just after the first of the year. There will be 54 official Women's Tennis Association tournaments, culminating in the 2024 finals in November. So they're going to be starting, actually, was this one we were discussing starts like the last week of December?
Yep, December 29th. That weekend starts down under in Australia, and it is a point season, a point system. Getting I think to the quarterfinals in each level of play will put you higher and higher towards the rankings. Then at the end, the top 8 play in one final tournament, and the winner becomes tour champion. So the ladies, there are smaller tournaments, but I don't want to say that they're exhibitions, but they're pretty. I think it's just something
they don't count don't count the point standings.
Exactly. So with golf finishing up and taking a break, and with tennis finishing up a little break, this is going to alter our lineup a little bit. So a little bit. When you lose one sport, you gain another one.
It's that, what happens in which season thing,
Exactly. So next week, we're going to bring college basketball into the mix. It's going to be similar to college football, with the top 25 teams being ranked according to AP polls and whatever. It won't be an individual thing. It'll just be, this is what's going on. Keep an eye on the number 1 team. It's kind of like a filler, but it's something to keep us going. And then from college basketball, we go into the NBA, because NASCAR is on a break until Daytona. Yes.
Keep in mind, too, when we're covering college basketball, we're not just covering the men. We will be covering the ladies as well. Exactly.
Because there are 2 Final Four tournaments, one for the men and one, just two finger point, just one for the men and one for the women. It is Disney. This has been, I did this 3 days into my Disney tenure. I was in the casa, and we were sitting at the table or whatever. I could not find the remote, or it was either myself or Renegade or Pop. One of us couldn't find the remote, but I do remember pointing it saying, there it is. And I think Renegade said, what are you doing with your fingers? And I'm like, oh my God, it's already started. It's the 2-finger point. Because this, in Disney terms, is bad. You don't do this. You do this.
Considering
go ahead, Dory.
I never worked for Disney, and I do the 2-finger point.
Oh, yeah.
I've been 2-finger pointing for years. It's well, being around this Yahoo and Teresa and Marquez, you just do it. So,
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the courts and let's see what's going on with the NBA tournament. Remember, this is a tournament where games are played concurrent with the season, with the regular season. They are grouped into 6 groups of 5. They each play each other. The top 2 teams from each group advance into a knockout stage, just like FIBA and FIFA, with 2 wild cards left. Last week, we forgot to include that the Cavaliers defeated the Pacers. Or no, excuse me, not that one. The Wizards defeated the Heat. So there is an extra game on November 3rd. And Dori Lou, if you want to go ahead and read the results from November 10th, go right ahead.
All right, let's see. UTA, now keep in mind, I still don't know basketball teams and all that stuff. So UTA is who?
Utah Jazz.
Thank you. Utah Jazz defeated the Memphis Grizzlies. We don't talk about them unless we have to. 127 to 121. Houston defeated New Orleans.
Yes.
104 to 101.
Yep.
Dang, it's a good thing Zach's not here because let's see. He lost that one. He lost. Okay. Sorry, not sorry.
Not sorry.
Minnesota defeated. Who did we defeat? San Antonio Spurs, 117 to 110.
Yep.
Philadelphia defeated Detroit, 114 to 106. Washington defeated Miami, 121 to 114. And Boston defeated Brooklyn, 121 to 107. There's a matchup tonight. Oh, you know what? I missed some games.
Go ahead.
You missed the bottom rows.
Yeah, I missed the bottom rows.
You missed
I
one
didn't
on the
realize.
bottom and 3 on the top.
Yeah. Okay, so the ones I missed. Los Angeles, the Lakers. Yeah, they used to be Minnesota Lakers. Did you know that? That's why they're purple and gold.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, they were still wearing blue when they were in Minnesota.
Yeah. I'm not sure how the purple and gold actually transferred over, but apparently once upon a time, they all had to wear the same color uniforms. Okay, go ahead, Jeff.
What happened was when they moved to LA, and I'm not lying, shut up. I noticed when they moved to LA and they moved into the Forum with Mr. Cook having bought them and also forming the Kings were going to wear royal colors, the purple and gold. So Lakers went, ha. So they did. Cook had them wear purple and gold as well. Yeah, because if you look at the championship banners inside the crypt, the Minnesota championship banners are still in the old blue and white.
There we go. Okay, now you know. All right, so the Lakers defeating Phoenix 122 to 119. Dallas defeating the Clippers.
Yep.
144 to 126. Sacramento defeated Oklahoma. 105 to 98. And
CHA Charlotte, the Hornets.
Thank you. Charlotte defeated Washington 124 to 117. Yes, Pop. 10,000 lakes equals Lakers.
Very
Minnesota,
good.
the land of 10,000 lakes.
That's right. And Boston.
One of the places I call, where I grew up. I was born in North Dakota. I grew up living mostly either in North Dakota or Minnesota, with my summers out in Washington State. So those are my home places. All right. Moving on.
And Boston defeated Brooklyn 121 to 107.
I did catch that one.
That's okay. There are games being played live. They'll be reported next week. The next set of games in the tournament are also being played at the same time. Let's take a look at the power rankings and let's see where everybody falls.
Oh,
right
yeah,
here
my
now.
Timberwolves are playing Sacramento right now.
Yes, they are. The Philadelphia 76ers are your new number one team. They are at 8-1. They jumped up 3 spots. The Dallas Mavericks are 8-2. They are tied with the Boston Celtics and tied with the Denver Nuggets. Remember, points per game is the tiebreaker. The Mavericks stay put for 3 weeks in a row, and the Celtics moved up 1 spot. The Nuggets were the number one team. They dropped 3. Minnesota, the number 5 team at 7-2, all by themselves. And Houston Rockets end up at column 1, at the end of column 1 at 6-3. And they moved up 2 whole columns. They moved 8 spaces from column 3 to column 1. The Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma Thunder and the Milwaukee Bucks, and they are all 6-4. The Bucks are my new bandwagon team because of Giannis, of course. The Miami Heat are 6-4, excuse me. And Golden State Warriors are 6-5. Atlanta Hawks are 5-4. Hello, Renegade. Thank you for joining and being in the chat room, because the chat room is where all the magic happens, especially when it's Disney magic. In the middle, the Sacramento Kings, they took a huge jump, moving up 13 spaces. They are at the top of column 3 at 5-4. The Orlando Magic are right on their heels at 110.1. And the Brooklyn Nets, dead in the middle, 5-5 at 2 weeks in a row. The Lakers are below them at 111. The Knicks are below them at 108. And the Toronto Raptors wrap up the middle in column 3. We move over to column 4. The Phoenix Suns, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the New Orleans Pelicans, all tied at 4-6. The Chicago Bulls are all by themselves at 4-7. The Charlotte Hornets, the LA Clippers round out column 4 at 3-6, but they are also tied with column 5. And remember, column 5 starts the red, and that's not going to happen for at least maybe 8 or 9, maybe even 10 more weeks. But you do not want to be in column 5 when the eliminations start. So Portland's at the top of that column, followed by the Jazz at 3-7. They are tied with the Spurs. The Spurs dropped 11 spots. They were in column 3 before. Now they're all the way down there. The Wizards are 2-8. We don't talk about the Grizzlies because they're not doing so good, but they at least are not the bottom of the barrel. That honor belongs to the Detroit Pistons.
Wow.
2-9.
All right. So with that, your leaders in the Eastern Conference, because that's your overall stats with all 30 teams. But for the Eastern Conference, 76ers being 8-1 and Celtics 8-2 are your lead there. And over in the Western Conference, the Nuggets are the number 1. Well, actually, they're tied with the Mavericks. They're both 8-2 with the Timberwolves coming up right behind at 3rd.
There you go.
There is your
And
NBA standings.
That is your NBA stuff. And I just got a message from Zach. Zach will not be joining us, but he does leave a note saying the Pelicans need to find a way to stretch the floor better with offense. Indeed, they do. All right, we've moved on to hockey. Let's take a look at the hockey power rankings. As you can see, the Vegas Golden Knights are still the number 1 team. They are at 12-1-1. They have 25 points. Well said, Jeff. Thank you. He's red. There you go. The Knights and the Bruins were actually guaranteed the number 1 spot as of yesterday, because they were idle, and the Rangers and the Canucks just swapped spots. They're both at 23 points, 11-2-1 and 11-3-1. We don't know what's going on. I got to take a look at the schedule and see what's happening, but we could have a new number 1 by the end of the week. I'd like to see the Knights keep going, but we will see. The Dallas Stars are your number 5 team at 21 points, 10-3-1. The Florida Panthers, 8 big spots, moving from column 2 to column 1. The Kings are at the bottom, almost at the bottom of column 1, but they are in column 1 nonetheless at 19 points, 8-3-3. And right below them is the rival to the Wild that Dori just does not like, the Colorado Avalanche. They are 18 points. There you go. Yep. You said Colorado around a Minnesota girl, and boy, you better run. You better hope she doesn't have the kitchen knife in her hand. Well, because I learned that the hard way one year. I said Colorado scored. I ran. 18 points for the Avalanche. The Hurricanes.
I don't need the kitchen knife. I have a pocket knife.
I've got 7 of them.
And then some. And then some.
And then
yes,
some.
But I know how
to. Oh, for fuck's sake, Mikey!
I love that clip. The Hurricanes are at column 2, followed by the Red Wings. They both have 18 points. The Maple Leafs have 18 points. The Ducks are at 16 points at 8 and 6. The Capitals moved up 7 spots. They are in the middle of column 2. They are tied with the Jets and the Canadiens and the Lightning. They round out the left. The Devils, the Blues, the Coyotes, the Flyers, and the Sabres are all tied at 15 points. The Devils have more goals over the Blues. That's why they have a higher ranking. But the Devils did drop 11 spots, and the Flyers have a 4-goal lead over the Sabres. That's why they have a higher spot. The Penguins are all by themselves at 14 points at 7 and 6. The Islanders and the Kraken round out column 3. They are both tied at 13. Then we go into column 4 at 12 points each. The Senators, the Wild, and the Blue Jackets. The Wild only dropped 1 spot, so it's okay. The Blackhawks are at 10 points, tied with our hometown Predators and the Flames. The Flames did not move. They are stuck there at 2 weeks, along with the remaining 2 teams, the Oilers and the Sharks. The Sharks are at the bottom of the barrel for a whole month now. They've only won 2 games. They've lost 13 total. The Sharks I don't know what's going to happen. They're trying to get their own version of the Connor Bedard Trophy from the start of last season, anyway. But I mean, come on now. They're just, I don't know what they are doing, but yeah.
All right.
They suck. That's what they're doing. They absolutely suck, and I absolutely love it.
Every sports fan has a team they hate on, okay?
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Especially when you are a legit lifelong fan and not a bandwagoner.
Hey,
Mikey.
All right. You got me on that one.
Bunch of bullshit. Okay. Anyway.
All right. So for your division leaders of your 32 teams, we've got 4 divisions here, 8 teams per division. Dallas Stars lead the Central Division. You've got those nasty Golden Knights over in the Pacific. Boston Bruins. We'll take Boston as my secondary for Atlantic Division, and the Metropolitan Division is currently being led by your New York Rangers.
Renegade says, instead of the Simpsons, at least you tried cake. We need to get the Sharks. Did you even show up, cake?
I think I have to agree with that.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
I mean, I say that about a lot of football games too. It's like, wait.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
okay. There were people on the field. Were they the actual players? No. Okay,
no,
go on.
I think it was all a big Halloween thing. If it ends me. All righty. Up next, I believe, is college football. All right, we're going to quickly get through the top 25, and then we will bring up the elephant in the room as to what the big news is going on. The Ohio State is still your number 1. The official rankings come out in about an hour and a half at 9 o'clock Eastern. So by the time we're done with this episode, they should be making the announcements that who is number 1 for the week. Ohio State did defeat Michigan State 38-3. And Georgia defeated Ole Miss, which is finally a top 25 team for Georgia, which I am very happy to announce that they're actually playing people. And, of course, the big matchup coming up this weekend, our Vols, our hometown Vols, play against the Georgia Bulldogs in Neyland Stadium. So everybody in Tennessee, stop what you're doing, turn on CBS at 3:30 p.m., stay in your homes, and please, dear God, I don't ask for much, but can we please knock off the Georgia Bulldogs? Amen. Just once this year.
So Knoxville is going to be insane, no matter if the Bulls win. It's going to be even more insane if they lose and you're a Bulldogs fan. Get the frack out fast.
Indeed.
If you happen to be
Michigan
going
defeated
to
Penn State 24-15. Florida State defeated Miami 27-20. Washington defeated Utah State 35-28. Oregon defeated USC 36-27. That doesn't make a Casa Circle happy. Texas defeated TCU 29-6. Alabama defeated Kentucky 49-21. Louisville defeated Virginia 31-24. Oregon State defeated Stanford 62-17. Missouri upset Tennessee last week. Thanks, Pop. 36-7. UCF upset Oklahoma State 45-3. Texas Tech upstate Kansas 16-13. Oklahoma did its job and defeated West Virginia 59-20. LSU defeated Florida 52-35. Arizona defeated Colorado 34-31. Iowa defeated Rutgers 22-0. Tulane defeated Tulsa 24-22. North Carolina had to go into double overtime to defeat Duke 47-45. And Kansas State defeated Baylor 59-25. Now, of course, I want to bring up the elephant in the room. What's going on in college football? The story is with Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh. If I say your name, yeah,
Yes, Beth. I'm recognizing the boss man.
Thank you. Also, before Mikey gets going on Harbaugh, because I definitely want to hear this because it's going to be good shit. If you happen to be going to AEW Collision and Rampage this Friday at the Habitus Forum, and you happen to be going to the Jarrett's meet and greet with Karen and Jeff Jarrett, give Jeff a hug. I know Jeff's a heel, by God, I understand that. But they already lost to Atlanta this year. If they lose to Georgia too, Jeff Jarrett's not going to be able to show his face on AdFreeShows.com between Shivani and Conrad. So just throwing it out there. Give Jarrett some love. Even if you hate Jeff Jarrett most times of the year, give Double J a little love this weekend. Anyway.
All right. So the Michigan head coach, Jim Harbaugh, has been suspended for the last 3 games of the season due to a sign-stealing scandal. Now, what does that mean? That apparently he has cheated in some way, shape, or form. And there's going to be a court hearing coming up this weekend, or it's later on this week. What is
this Friday?
This Friday. Apparently to allow him to be on the sidelines and coach his team. Now, ESPN on their show First Take had a good long debate about this. And it was also brought up that America's team is now the Michigan Wolverines. However, one of their analysts, Shannon Sharp, said that America does not like cheaters. Look at what happened with Lance Armstrong. Look at what happened with Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire. Look at what happened with the Houston Astros. Does America really want to be called as America's team because of this scandal? Initially, my answer is no, probably not. Also, what I want to know is, and Jeff, you have coached football before. So I would like, if you can, to explain or teach how signaling to the quarterback works, if you can.
Well,
please.
First of all, it's completely different in professional football than it is in high school football. Let me be clear on that. But the bottom line is this. I have the benefit of listening to My World this morning, so I have a little more knowledge on this because they were talking about it on with Jarrett and Conrad. Here's the bottom line. You know what? I'm here by myself. I was just trying to have I'm still sick, people. I'm trying to breathe as best I can.
You're fine.
Excuse me. Of course, take the mask off. I start coughing. The allegations are that Harbaugh was stealing signals from other people. Correct? Is that
Yes.
That's the given?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's because I'm looking at it right here off of ESPN.com.
Okay.
Big Ten suspended Harbaugh this past Friday's punishment against the football program for violating the league's sportsmanship policy.
Okay.
They have gathered enough information from the NCAA and others in the conference to prove that a former member of Michigan staff compromised the integrity of this year's games by scouting other teams' signals in advance.
Okay. All right. You're going to hear a rare, and I mean, it's going to be hard for me to get out of my mouth without throwing up worse than I was this morning and being sick. All right.
Go ahead.
Here's a defense of Jim Harbaugh here. Why not change the damn signs each year? Are we that non-creative or unable to change our strategy that we have to keep the same signs every year, and therefore something like this is bound to happen? I am not ever going to defend Jim Harbaugh in most cases, because much like Bill Belichick, fuck Jim Harbaugh and his dumbass brother. But especially coaching where he's coaching. But if the way we get him is through this, it's kind of like the way we got Al Capone. All the horrible things Al Capone did, we got him for tax evasion. Like, really? This is what we're going with. Jim Harbaugh and his brother are just obnoxiously offensive just in general. But if the offense that gets him railroaded and gets his coaching career, debunked is sign stealing, that is a lame ass way to take somebody out. Change your signs. Like, seriously, baseball does it every week, let alone every season.
I was going to ask. I mean, is it similar? I mean, because obviously the coach is wearing his headset. He's getting his orders from the uppers. He has to find a way to get that information to the quarterback. So he can't just pull the quarterback in before every play, correct?
In college and professional football, they actually have the headsets inside the quarterback's helmet.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there's a little, it's very tiny. That way they don't, mess it up, each play, because, the quarterback's out there just a little while. So they have the guys, in the eagle eye, if you will, like looking at, okay, what can we do here? They, the Harbaugh, whoever's people send it to Harbaugh. Harbaugh calls the play, quarterback runs the play. That's why the quarterback is called that's why every play caller in sports is called the quarterback, because that's how it funnels through, right?
Okay.
So I get where the NCAA, whoever's making the, gathering evidence is coming from. I don't disagree with, it's very unsportsmanlike to be doing that, but I have a very funny feeling Harbaugh's defense, will be, it's like, well, or at least, actually it's really not defensible at the end of the day. He's still stealing signs. He's still, doing some Belichick like shit, and it's wrong. It's 100% wrong that they're doing it. My defense as a fan, it's like, well, change your signs. Like, don't be that guy. But, they shouldn't have to, because Harbaugh and the like shouldn't be doing that. It's the same reason, Belichick and Brady got railroaded for watching practices, because that's a little unsportsmanlike. It's a little shady, boys. So, again, from a fan's perspective, it's like, this is so ridiculous that we're having to go to court over this shit. It's so ridiculous. It takes away from the integrity of the game, is the bottom line.
I will agree with that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if they're stealing signs or filming practices or whatever the case may be. It still takes away from the integrity. And for crying out loud, especially the college level and below, these are still, even the college, we call them kids, but they're over 18, so they're not really kids, but they're college kids and below. Can we just let these boys play the game? Seriously. What's next? Are we gonna have the Little League World Series investigated for sign stealing and practically? Yeah, let's just have the freaking elementary kids, be railroaded for sign stealing. It's like, man, just let these kids play the fucking game.
Well, let me go to you on this question. The topic was brought up that Michigan should be like banned, suspended, not allowed to play, even if they qualify for the college football title. Should we punish the team or should we punish the coach? What do you think? Paulo, that's to you.
Oh, I've been so quiet the whole entire time. No,
Yeah, but we got to get you involved here, brother.
no. Repeat the question one more time.
It was suggested that the Michigan Wolverines should not even be allowed to qualify for the upcoming tournament that crowns the winner of the college football series. So, should we punish the team or should we continue to punish the coach?
No, don't punish the team. I mean, the Harbaugh was 100% at fault. It's on him. The team. I mean, if the team knew about it, then maybe not really like do anything harsh, but just say, hey, don't let this happen again. But yeah, Harbaugh 100% should be punished.
Yeah. Take him down. Like I've been saying that for years anyway.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
I don't want to say I despise, but I don't like John Harbaugh either. Well, that's because
I intensely dislike both Harbaugh brothers.
There you go.
And the final part of the topic, Dori Lou, you take the lead on this one. Should the Wolverines be considered America's team at this point? I mean, it's always been the Dallas Cowboys for the longest time ever. Why would you even want the Wolverines to represent the entire nation based on this one scandal alone?
Well, the thing is, their playing potential, yes, they could be America's college team.
Yeah.
They could potentially be America's college team. The signal stealing thing, which I still don't completely understand, because if they're doing the headsets, then how are they able to steal signals? I don't understand that part because I don't see what's going on the sidelines kind of thing.
Right.
So if somebody could explain that, maybe I could have a better response.
So let me. Okay, so if I'm on it, because I didn't read that, or I have to go back and read everything, but I did hear about it. So was Harbaugh stealing signal calls from other teams?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. So the only way, Dori Lou, that could be possible is if he's watching like video footage, like going back and watching tapes, or
which apparently he was.
That's not what he was doing. He was actually had people scouting out other teams' practices to steal signals.
Well, same difference.
Yeah, it's pretty much it. Yeah. So if he, like you said, if he's having people going to other teams' practices and saying, okay, I want you to give me their signals, and then we're gonna sprinkle them in, and hopefully nobody will catch us or catch on. So okay. I mean, that's just like with Belichick and Brady back in the day,
right? And this goes to what JJ's comment says. It's the same thing. They were not only. I mean, scouting the opposition is one thing, and that you should do that, but you should be scouting on tape you receive from the league, or tape you receive. Exactly. If you're not only scouting but implementing somebody else's playbook, that is unsportsmanlike, and that's considered cheating. So, and the thing with blaming the coach over blaming the whole team is, Emmanuel kind of went off on
this is my thing with the blaming the coach versus blaming the team.
Right.
How many of the team members were aware of it?
Right.
Have implemented.
Yeah. There has to be active evidence against a particular player. You can't just blanket ban the entire team. Otherwise, there'd be New England Patriots once they figure it out. I mean, they nailed Brady, they nailed Belichick. I tend to believe that that the majority of the players don't know. And again, I'm the worst guy to ask about Belichick or that team up north or whatever. But it's a thing. And without getting too far sideways, JJ, it's not. As far as I know, the college practices aren't open to the public because they're on a college campus. It's a private deal. They don't watch the practices. Now, NFL practices generally get open to the public. You can go watch, especially during preseason. You can go watch Cowboys practice out here when they have their facility out here. So it's really, unfortunately, and I've talked about this numerous times. I'm gonna get coughing in a second. Sorry. Trying not to talk this week, and here I go. That's what I get.
Sorry, Jeff.
No, not your fault. I knew I was gonna be talking during this because it's a big deal, because it's Harbaugh and his dumbass self. It's my understanding that the practices are not open to the public, and even if they are, that's fine. But the way the article is worded, it seems like Harbaugh in this case, Belichick previously, other coaches that have done this shit, which is so ridiculous that this happens so often, have been actively filming and using the film that they took themselves to identify plays being called when the plays are supposed to be called, under the blanket of secrecy, which it's not a fair coaching practice, not a fair gameplay practice. That's the bottom line. It's whether we as fans, whether we as panelists here agree or disagree with it, it is a nationally, globally, whatever you call it, accepted that you don't do that shit. That's just the way it's
unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, it's unsportsmanlike. Exactly.
One final question.
The yellow flags.
Exactly.
Right.
One final question from Zach, and it's a good segue to go into pro football for the week, the meat and potatoes of Step Boy Sports Bar. Jim Harbaugh, this is from Zach directly. Jim Harbaugh seems to me like he's trying to make the jump to the NFL, but my question to you is, the NFL going to let this allegation go by without a hitch?
Absolutely.
My answer, no.
Harbaugh.
This has almost tainted and ruined him because of one scandal. We know we don't like the Houston Astros because they cheated during the World Series. We know that Lance Armstrong will not be able to sit on a bicycle and pedal and win championships because of the steroid thing. We know Sammy Sosa can't swing a bat properly without steroids or whatever, however it was alleged. These things are stuck with you no matter what. If somebody can look past this for one of the teams that are not doing well, and it's going to be a media's firestorm. Like, for example, let's say he does go into the NFL, and the only team that decides to help him out are these guys, the Carolina Panthers, because they're not doing very well. No one's going to really make a thing about it because these guys aren't doing so good. However, if he wants to go after the top teams, they're going to laugh at us and slam the door right in his face.
But the thing is, because of these allegations, and even if they come up as being unfounded and all this gets retracted, it's going to be a dark cloud over him trying to go, let's say, pro in the NFL, become a professional coach in the NFL, because there's always going to be that question, well, it wasn't founded, but there had to be there was speculation. So behind every rumor or speculation, there is a grain of truth somewhere.
Good point, Renegade. And I think I know where he's going with this. I think he's going with the innocent until proven guilty. But there's not really a crime here either. It's not like they're not going to put Harbaugh in handcuffs and throw away the key. It's not a punishable crime by imprisonment. It's a morality crime. It's an unsportsmanlike crime. It's like a boxer hitting somebody too hard in a fight. They're not going to put assault charges against him. So I can see where Renegade is saying, it's not that big a thing that, but in the morality court, he's done.
Go to Big G next.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so let's all remember, Harbaugh did coach for the 49ers and left to play or to coach for the Minnesota. So
Michigan,
for Michigan, whatever. I'm not a big college guy. Anyways, but if he did come back, if he was lucky enough, offensive coordinator at least, not a head coach.
Yeah, at best.
But why would you leave the NFL to go to college and then want to go back to the NFL?
Because he had similar shady shit laid against him on the 49ers too. Okay. That's what I'm saying. When it comes to the Harbaughs, no, they should not. This is the continual thing with them. Now, as far as the comment here, either way, whether it's a practice or a previous game, it's still unethical. It's still unsportsmanlike. That's the bottom line here. I understand Jay's trying to play devil's advocate and trying to do innocent until proven guilty, and that's fine. I don't disagree with that practice, JJ, as a rule. But, you know, much like I say all the time when it comes to, you know, life in general, with repeat offenders, if it continues to walk like a duck, continues to talk like a duck, continues to coach like a duck, it probably sucks at hockey, and it's probably a fucking duck.
All right, I got it.
Hey, let's just go to the Sharks. There you go. There is that. So, you know.
Did you put that down?
That was good. That was good.
That was good. That was. I will. 2 points. 2 points to meet him on that one. Let's go into the meat and potatoes of Sad Boy Sports Bar, and that, of course, is NFL football. We started off Week 10 with the Bears defeating the Panthers. The Bears. 16-13. Go ahead, Dori Lou. Give them the stats.
One of these days he will get it straight, but it's dumb Bears, not da Bears. Okay.
Nah, I don't think they're that dumb.
Oh, yes. Scores are still courtesy of NFL.com, and we appreciate them. Producer is sick. He needs to get well so he can do what he does best. All right. So for the Panthers, Bryce Young was 21 of 38 for 145 yards, rushed 3 times for 18 yards. Mike Strachan was only 1 of 2, but for 45 yards, he was your leader there. And then Chuba Hubbard was 2 of 2 for 16 yards, rushed 9 times for 23. Over for Chicago, Bajent was 20 of 33 for 162 yards, rushed 6 times for 12 yards. DJ Moore caught 5 out of 9 targets for 58 yards, rushed once for 1 yard. And Deontay Foreman, 2 of 2 for 12 yards, rushed 21 times for 80 yards with a touchdown.
All right. Belichick loses again to the Colts. This match took place over in Germany. This was the Sunday morning game.
This was a very early game.
Yes, 2-8 for the Patriots. They are this season is going downhill fast. Colts beat the Patriots 10-6.
Can we just say the Patriots suck without Tom Brady?
Yes, it's obvious. It's self-explanatory.
Can we say that about Tampa Bay too?
No.
I'll get to them in a bit.
Okay, I know he was with the Patriots the longest, so all right, I'll go with that. All right, so Minshew over for the Colts, 18 of 28 for 194 yards. He threw an interception, rushed twice, resulting his ultimate result on his rushes was -1 yard. Jonathan Taylor caught 1 for 6 yards, rushed 23 times for 69 yards and a touchdown. Michael Pittman caught 8 out of 12 for 84 yards. Bill Belichick's time is running short for the Patriots. He's done. He should retire soon. Yeah, but, how many people say they were going to retire and then change their mind? Because they
excuse me.
They don't know how to do anything else, so they unretire or whatever you want to call it.
Whew.
Because they don't know what to do with themselves afterwards.
Ric Flair.
All right.
Excuse me.
I say in wrestling weekly. Anyway.
Right. Okay, so over for New England, Mac Jones was the starting quarterback for this game, 15 of 20, 170 yards. He threw 1 interception, rushed 3 times for 25 yards. He ended up leaving late in the fourth quarter. I don't recall why. Bailey Zapp came in 3 of 7, 250 yards. 3 of 7, 25 yards, 1 interception. He did not rush at all. No. Ramondre Stevenson caught 3 out of 5 for 14 yards, rushed 20 times for 88 yards. And I I don't have his full name written down. Douglas went 6 of 9 for 84 yards. And I don't have all my notes in my Excel because it's just been one of those weeks. I picked up extra hours. So I'm just working off my messy handwriting right now.
I saw that play where the backup quarterback tried to fake intercept it or fake spike and then do the interception. I was like, really?
It backfired. That's
It
I was like, how do you fake spike it? And then, yeah.
Next up.
All right. Next up, after the Colts and Patriots, we've got
the Browns take out the Birds. Browns win by 2, 33-31.
Okay.
No kickoff
this
tonight.
Freaking sucked.
Tell us why. Tell us why, Dori Lou. Why does it suck?
Because they got a lucky field goal right at the end.
That's not luck. That's just skill.
Oh,
that just shows you how much they wanted it more than the Ravens.
Yeah, well, wait till we get to Monday night because I got to watch part of that one. All right, so for Cleveland, Deshaun Watson, 20 of 34 for 213 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Take that allergy Town Brady pill, stat boy, stay healthy.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Yeah, I'll get on that right away.
Oh, Lord. He rushed 8 times for 37 yards. Then you had Jerome Ford catch one target for 2 yards, rushed 17 times for 107 yards. And Amari Cooper caught 6 out of 9 targets for 98 yards. For Baltimore, Jackson's back, 13 of 23, 223 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, rushed 8 times for 41 yards. Keaton Mitchell caught 1 out of 2 targets for 32 yards, rushed 3 times for 34 yards with a touchdown. And Zay Flowers caught 5 out of 6 for 73 yards.
Very good. All right. Next up. The Texans beat the Bengals 30-27. CJ Stroud is having an amazing year. After what he did last week, going for over 400 yards, I'm kind of keeping an eye on the Houston radar here, folks. Don't sleep on CJ Stroud in the second half. Give him the stats, Dori Lou.
All right. So CJ Stroud did not hit 400 this week. He hit 356, 23 of 39, 356. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, rushed twice for 8 yards with a touchdown. Your wide receiver, Noah Brown, caught 7 out of 8 for 172 yards, and Devin Singletary caught 1 of 2 targets for 11 yards, rushed 30 times for 150 yards with a touchdown. Now,
30 times? He rushed 30 times?
That's what the record said.
Whoa. Well, see, don't sleep on Houston. Well, the Texans anyway. You can put the Astros to bed anytime you want, but to rush 30 times, and does the offensive line not get to play anywhere else? Just one guy? 30 rushes? Jeez.
There's always that player that the other team underestimates.
Indeed.
All right, but speaking of yardage here, Joe Burrow did pretty good on yardage himself. I mean, CJ Stroud only got him by, quick math, 9 yards. Got only 9 more passing yards than Burrow did. Burrow went 27 of 40 for 347 yards. He got 2 touchdowns through 2 interceptions, rushed 5 times for 20 yards. Jamar Chase caught 5 out of 6 for 12 yards, 12 yards, 124. We'll next that.
Okay.
But Jamar Chase was in there, and he did end up getting a touchdown out of all that mix. Joe Mixon caught 2 out of 3, minus 1 yard total, rushed 3 times for 34 yards with a touchdown.
Yes, Jeff.
And I just was looking at the wrong stats. I'm sorry. Joe Mixon was 2 of 3 for minus 1 yard, 11 rushes, 46 yards, and a touchdown. There we go. Which Jeff? Yes, producer man.
Me. We call him Big G. Just so
okay.
it's easier. I just want to point out something real quick about this game because it's been bugging me, and it got reinforced on my world today. Sorry, Big G. Freaking, they've put so much money into Joe Burrow. Think about it this way: in his entire, and I mean his entire career, Joe Montana pulled in $25 million.
Okay.
Joe Burrow's making twice that this season. Marcus Feather's 5-4.
Yeah.
But the AFC North right now, I believe, is the best division all of the NFL.
No, it is. It's just mind-boggling to me that people like Chris Park, Abyss, for those of you who don't know, can sit there and say, "Oh, he's the greatest quarterback in Joe Montana." What the fuck games are you watching, Chris? Like, Jesus Christ. It's so ridiculous to me that this guy who's making double what Joe Montana made in one season than Joe Montana did in his entire career, and he's got 5-4 going to week 10.
Right.
Kind of ridiculous. And Emmanuel, trust me, Tatilla's not going to meet Double J this weekend. It just the meet too much money, and quite frankly, she's not a big fan. If we're being honest, I don't want to put her through that. So anyway, carry on.
Oh, and jumping back, I was right. I can't read my writing sometimes. Jamar Chase went 124 yards with a touchdown.
There you go.
All right.
Next up, the San Francisco 49ers crushed, stomped, and only held the Jaguars to a field goal, 34-3.
Okay, so this is one of those games where I'm going to say, all right, obviously there were people on the field. Were they the actual Jaguar football players?
Probably not. Not by that much.
And I mean, to take such a big loss at home, that's got to be embarrassing. Anyways, we had a bunch of stuff happening here. We started out with Brock Purdy going 19 of 26, 296 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He did not rush. And Sam Darnold came in for it says 1 and 2, but apparently he didn't get any yards on that. He rushed 3 times for -3 yards. So, Brock, I hope everything's going okay because apparently Sam Darnold is not up to par.
Nope.
All right. George Kittle completed 3 of 4 pass targets, or caught 3 of 4 targets for 116 yards with a touchdown. And McCaffrey caught 6 of 10 for 147 yards, rushed 16 times for 195 yards. Over for the Jaguars, Lawrence went 17 of 29 for 185 yards, threw 2 interceptions, rushed twice for 7 yards. CJ Beathard came in, and he entered he came in for the final possession that Jacksonville had in the game. He only completed 1 of 2 passes for only 5 yards with no rushing. Travis Etienne caught 2 of 4 for 9 yards, rushed 9 times for 35. And Christian Kirk caught 6 of 11 for 104 yards.
Yeah, the only time they'll bench somebody is if this game and the Dallas game, if the team is up with so many points, they're just going to bench their starting quarterback and just put in the backup quarterback.
Yeah, save them from injury.
All righty.
Makes sense complete. Yeah. So Nathan's saying so much for Trevor Lawrence being a so-called great quarterback. He's good, but has a long way to go. And that could be it. He is a good quarterback. I think, like everybody has an off week.
But you had an on week as the Vikings beat the Saints 27-19 with Joshua Dobbs as their quarterback. That it was a great game, and this is now 5 in a row for the Vikings.
Skull. Sorry, not sorry, Zach. No. All right. So my beloved Minnesota Vikings actually held out there for me. I was a little worried at one point. But let's start with the stats for New Orleans. Derek Carr was 13 of 18, 110 yards, no touchdowns or interceptions, rushed once for 10 yards. He got hurt somewhere in the game, and I don't have a note of when it happened. Jameis Winston came in and finished out the game, 13 of 25, 122 yards with 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, rushed 4 times for 7 yards. Alvin Kamara caught 100% of his targets, 7 of 7, 33 yards, rushed 9 times for 42 yards, and Olave caught 6 out of the 9 times targeted for 94 yards and 1 touchdown. Now to my beloved Vikings. Joshua Dobbs, in case you missed it, is the new starting quarterback since we basically ran through everybody getting hurt. He got traded, unexpectedly thrown in last week, and now he's the new starter. He completed 23 of 34 passes for 268 yards with 1 touchdown, no interceptions, rushed 8 times for 44 yards, 1 of those resulting in a touchdown. TJ Hawkinson caught 11 out of 15, 134 yards with a touchdown, and Ty Chandler rushed 15 times for 45 yards and a touchdown. Skull. That's all I got to say.
The Packers lost to the Steelers. Now we get the baller G dance. After the stats, the floor is yours. 23-19. The Packers not doing good this season.
No, they're not. But, Jordan Love isn't doing bad. I mean, he's over 50% in his pass completions, but he could be doing better, or at least for this game. He completed 21 of 40 for 289 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, rushed twice for 11 yards. Jaden Reed caught 5 of 5 for 84 yards and a touchdown, and A.J. Dillon caught 1 out of 3 for 11 yards. He rushed 9 times for 70 yards. Pickett. Yep, Kenny Pickett. 14 of 23, so just under 50%, if I'm mathing right.
Yeah.
Something like that. 126 yards, no touchdowns or interceptions. However, he rushed 4 times for 16 yards. Wide receiver, George Pickens, 3 of 4 for 45 yards. And running back Jaylen Warren caught 2 out of 4 for 9 yards. He rushed 15 times for 101 yards with a touchdown. And the floor is yours, Big G.
And Najee Harris also ran for 96 yards with a touchdown. And Chris Boswell, 3 field goals, I believe it was. Anyways, yes. So, for the love of God, Tomlin, keep Matt Canada on the sideline. It's working. It is working. Don't break it. But I got my stats of my own. So the Steelers are 6-3.
Yep.
We have been outgained by 865 yards. So we've been outgained in every single game. We have 283 6 yards per game. We're the 28th in the NFL. Negative point differential, minus 26. And 17.3 points per game. We're the 26th in the NFL. But we're still winning. We are still winning. Our defense is killing it. Highsmith, TJ Watt, Joey Porter Jr. is doing tremendous. Offense is still a little bit shaky. I mean, we'll have our spurts. Jaylen Warren is killing it right now. And so is Najee Harris. They are balancing each other out. Like, you don't want to be a team running against Jaylen Warren because he may be small, but he'll knock your ass down.
Some of those small guys are pretty fast.
Yeah. Pickett, we call him they don't call him, but like he's like fourth quarter clutch. Like when we need him in the fourth quarter, he will have that game-winning drive. I believe he has like 7 game-winning drives so far in the season. So, which is awesome. Like I said, defense is killing it. You don't want to. Yeah, we may be 6-3 and we might be outgained, but you do not want to be playing against TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith because you saw the game against the Titans. TJ Watt sacked the mother effer. Levis without his helmet. That's how much of a player he is.
I don't mind the swearing. It was just caught me off guard. Like, whoa, geez.
I was like,
here. Don't worry about it. I was like, whoa.
No. The NFL has gone let's sack that MFR.
That's right.
But
I like it.
We're doing what we need to do. by God, give Tomlin Coach of the Year award because he's finding ways to win. And I was watching the game, and Micah Fitzpatrick, our safety, who's out with a hamstring injury right now, pretty much told the defensive coordinator, hey, what are you doing? We need to call a timeout and switch the play. And they switched the play, and we caught the game-winning interception. Because if not, the Packers would have scored on that last drive. So, but now we play the Browns next week in Cleveland, and I think the Bengals. So it's gonna be a rough 2 weeks. So we'll see what happens.
Where's Mansfield now? Oh, that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
That would be great if we could have you.
I was happy that they beat the Ravens because that first place in the AFC North is still wide open. Even the Bengals can catch up. I think we're 5th in the playoff picture right now, but that could all change. We'll
get to that. Yep.
But if Josh is doing what he's supposed to be doing, he's watching Mary Poppins and studying for that quiz he's going to get Saturday. Yeah. Because he's been told if he fails this quiz, he is banned from the Greg Cherry Show for a month. All through the holidays. Oh yeah, that's a thing. And the part was we won't be able to use this on the regular.
Shut the fuck up, Josh!
Yeah, like I said, I'm loving what my Steelers are doing. We got a lot of work to do on the offense still, but we're finding ways to win. That's all that matters.
All right.
There you go. I kind of feel the same way about my Vikings right now.
Well, we talked about it earlier. Tampa Bay's not doing good, but they managed to beat the Titans, who haven't been doing any better. 20-6, the final score.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they showed up, but that's about all they did. Yeah. Just to make a note here, the Tampa Bay defense sacked Levis 4 times.
Oh.
He got sacked 4 times. Completed 19 of 39, 199 yards, no touchdowns. He did throw an interception. Does the boy not know how to run?
Nope.
Because he doesn't rush. I think this is since I've been trying to put everything down, he doesn't rush. Kyle Phillips caught 3 out of 5 for 61 yards, and Derrick Henry.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Derrick Henry, yep.
King Henry. Caught 1, but it was -4 yards, and he rushed 11 times for 24 yards. Come on, Titans. What the heck? I mean, you're the freaking Titans. Come on. Greek mythology. All right.
They need to go back to Mount they need to go back to Mount Olympus, get off the wine, and just start throwing thunderbolts at everybody.
They need to stay away from Bacchus's parties.
That too.
There you go. But in return, the Titans defense sacked Mayfield 3 times.
Oh.
Mayfield completed 18 of 29 for 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, rushed 3 times for 12 yards. Mike Evans caught 6 out of 10 for 143 yards with 1 touchdown. And I'm going to mess up his name because I didn't write the whole thing. So Rashad White rushed 20 times for 51 yards.
Very good.
Oh, right. He also caught 2 out of 3 for 47 yards with a touchdown.
The Cardinals beat the Falcons 25-23.
Close game. I like close games. I like that edge of the seat. I love seeing a good game, but those lopsided scores, I don't even want to watch. Unless they can make one hell of a comeback, which happens once in a while, but not often enough. All right. So for the Falcons, Heineke started this game 8 of 15, 55 yards, 1 touchdown, rushed 4 times for 34 yards. I did not note when Ritter came in. He completed 4 of 6 for 39 yards. He rushed 3 times for 11 yards with a touchdown. Heineke was injured at basically right in the beginning of the 4th quarter. I did have a note. I just didn't read far enough over. Robinson caught 1 of 2 for 11 yards, rushed 22 times for 95 yards with a touchdown. And Drake London Caught 3 of 4 for 36 yards. Over for Arizona. Yes, he's back. Kyler Murray.
Took him long enough.
Hey, some injuries take time to recover from. I mean, I'm getting almost week 8 on mine. 19 of 32 for 249 yards, 1 interception thrown, rushed 6 times for 33 yards with a touchdown. James Conner rushed 16 times for 73 yards, and tight end Troy McBride caught 8 of 9 for 131 yards.
Very good.
And that is that.
All right.
Moving on to the Detroit Lions.
Also, they should be known as the Motor City Maulers because they took this duel against Los Angeles back and forth. It took a final field goal to do it. They are 7-2, friends. Look at that number, 7-2, putting up 41 points. Wait till you see the power rankings on this. You'll see you're going to be in for a surprise, folks.
Yes, Daniel.
Don't sleep on the Lions.
They are definitely on a roll there. Definitely. So Daniel says, my Detroit Lions are on a winning streak and still first place in the NFC North. They're getting closer to a potential lock-in for the playoffs. Yes, they sure are, but my Vikings are not too far behind, so don't count us out yet.
Exactly.
But we're going to get to that after you get through all the stats. All right, so Jared Goff, 23 of 33 for 333 yards, 2 touchdowns, rushed 3 times for -2 yards. Daniel Montgomery rushed 12 times for 116 yards with a touchdown, and Amon-Ra St. Brown caught 8 of 9 for 156 yards with a touchdown. Over for the Chargers, Herbert, 27 of 40 for 323 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, rushed 4 times for 15 yards. Eckler caught 4 of 7 for 48 yards. Rushed. Whoa, what did I do here? Hold on. Rushed 19 times for 67 yards and a touchdown. Allen went 11 of 14 for 175 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I put my cross on because I want to ask the big guy upstairs, can we get him in the playoffs this year, please? I don't ask for much.
No. Well, I mean, we'll see. As long as it's somebody from the NFC North gets to go all the way, I'll be very happy. I'd prefer it to be the Vikings, but I know my team too well. I'll be okay with the Lions.
Well, you both can get in. It's just a battle of playing each other. Go ahead, producer Jeff.
I just want to know, for the sake of our former roommate, where the hell was this Lions play like 10 years ago? Like, Jesus, really? I mean, seriously.
You know?
Right?
He probably would have been a lot better off with his thinking state if they'd be playing like this 10 years ago, for fuck's sake.
Could you imagine us talking about this 10 years ago? I mean,
no.
The sports bar has only been a thing for 4. We've been bashing them for 2, and now we're praising them like they truly are kings of the NFL. I mean,
it's so crazy.
Every possible Lion cliche you can think of. The Lions not sleeping tonight. Kings of Detroit, Motor City Maulers, blue and gray forever. Throw out whatever you want. It's all in positivity here because, like I said, when we see the power rankings, you'll see why I'm so happy with them, and they are a huge contender for the playoffs.
Now, Mikey,
they could have been a contender. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Mikey, shut up so Jeff can finish what he was saying.
Okay.
Well, yeah, exactly. Thank you. It's just so refreshing to see the Steelers are above 500, right? We saw that earlier. Yes.
Yes.
It's good to see all the teams within the sports bar family doing at least above 500. It's a rarity, so it's cool. I dig it.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's exciting to see our teams that we
speaking of our teams,
we go to this.
Wow.
No explanation needed because the Cowboys crushed the Giants. They took those Giants and just chopped them down.
I mean,
49-17.
I mean, it's the Giants. It doesn't really count. Seriously.
Well, yes, it's a win, so it counts. Just because it was a team that's not doing great. Hi, Matt. We're doing good. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the rest of the show. But let's get on some stats here. So, DeVito, of course, took over for the Giants starting quarterback right now. He completed 14 of 27 for 86 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He rushed 7 times for 41 yards. I have Barkley caught 1 of 3 for -5 yards. He rushed 3 times for 66 yards. And Daniel Bellinger, he's a tight end that I don't think we've brought up before, caught 2 or 3 for 34 yards. Damn. And he was the top receiver. So
I know, right?
All right. So now we're going to jump over to Dallas. And we started with Dak Prescott, 26 of 35 for 404 yards, 4 touchdowns. He threw 1 interception.
That makes 6.
That makes 6.
That's
26. Rushed twice for 17 yards with a touchdown. And then, is it Cooper Rush?
Yes.
Cooper Rush came in for towards the end of the game. I believe it was 7 of 9 for 68 yards. He also threw an interception. He rushed twice for 5 yards. You have Rico Dowdle, running back, rushed 9 times for 79 yards. And wide receiver Brandon Cooks caught 9 out of 10 for 173 yards. And that wraps up Dallas.
Well done, Dallas.
Anything else on that one, Jeff?
Nope.
Other than
he's just happy that the Cowboys are doing so well right now.
You can't see it, but there was this huge smile under that mask because I saw the facial features enough to catch that huge smile.
It's one of those things. You know, Cowboys won big this week. Washington lost, which is always good. We beat the Giants, which is easy but still a good thing. And the Eagles were off this week, so they didn't gain or lose any ground on their end. So that was good.
Yeah.
It was a good week in the NFC East.
Yeah.
In the Battle of Washington, the Seattle Seahawks took out the state of Washington and the Commanders, beating them by a field goal 29-26.
All right. For the Commanders, Howell went 29 of 44 for 312 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He rushed twice for 17 yards. Robinson was 100% with the targets, caught all 6 for 119 yards. I believe there was a touchdown in there, and I just didn't note it properly. He rushed 8 times for 33 yards. And then Antonio Gibson caught 5 of 6 for 42 yards with a touchdown, and he rushed 4 times for 13 yards. Over for the Seahawks, Geno Smith, 31 of 47, 369 yards, 2 touchdowns with no interceptions, rushed once for 13 yards. Walker caught 1 of 2 for 64 yards with a touchdown, rushed 19 times for 63 yards. And DK Metcalf caught 7 out of the 12 times he was targeted for 98 yards.
Well done indeed. Next up,
We Raiders are down. Sunday Night Football.
The Raiders beat the Jets 16-12. Aaron Rodgers again on the field, getting closer and closer to potentially coming back. He's staying positive. He's doing his rehab. He's showing up on Pat McAfee's show every week, letting us know what's going on. He's able to throw the ball. He's able to take steps. It's insane how he can recover after all these weeks. And it's pretty nice to see the Las Vegas Strip on Sunday Night Football. 16-12 is your final score. Go ahead, Dori Lou.
Zach Wilson completed 23 of 39 passes for 263 yards. He did throw an interception, rushed 4 times for 54 yards. Then you have Garrett Wilson. Zach Wilson was also the top rusher, but we're going to give you the second top, who was Breece Hall. He was targeted 3 times and caught all 3 for 47 yards, rushed 13 times for 28 yards. And then Garrett Wilson caught 9 of 14. I need to slow myself down for 93 yards. Over for the Raiders. Aiden O'Connell completed 16 of 27 passes for 153 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, rushed twice for 3 yards. Josh Jacobs caught 2 of 2 for 11 yards, rushed 27 times for 116 yards. And Davante Adams. Gee, didn't he used to be a Viking?
Yep.
Anyways, 6 of 13 targets for 86 yards. I can say that sometimes. Like,
Yes, you
he
can.
used to be a Viking. What the happened?
What happened in this game, last night's game, was talked about throughout the entire morning sports talk shows as the Broncos beat the Bills 24-22. The last sequence of events where the first thing, and I had to get taught this, that apparently it's okay for the Broncos to kneel to get the clock down so they could switch from the offense to the field goal unit. And then the Bills get caught with having an extra man on the field, moving them closer 15 yards to get the game-winning field goal. And the news broke this morning just before Pat McAfee's show that the Bills' offensive coordinator has been fired because of all of the shenanigans from last night's game. Overall, Broncos win 24-22.
So it's really sad because and I'm sorry I don't have his name, but the Broncos kicker had 2 chances to make that field goal. He missed it on the first time, but that's when that flag was thrown and the Bills had that penalty for having too many men on the field. So he got a second chance to do things right. So I was like, yep, he got a second chance. He's going to make it this time. He did. The Bills lost. I was sad. I still am, but I'll get over it. And here we go with the stats. Russell Wilson, 24 of 29 for 193 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, rushed 9 times for 30 yards. Javonte Williams caught all 4 targets for 31 yards with a touchdown. And wide receiver Cortland Sutton caught 8 out of 11 targets for 53 yards with a touchdown. Javonte Wilson also rushed 21 times for 79 yards. Over there for the Bills, Josh Allen completed 15 of 26 passes for 177 yards. He threw 1 touchdown. He threw 2 interceptions. He rushed 4 times for 13 yards. One of those was a touchdown late in the third quarter or early in the fourth. Running back James Cook caught 2 of 2 for 11 yards, rushed 12 times for 109 yards, and wide receiver Gabe Davis. He only caught 2 out of 6 targets, but it was for a good 56 yards. Yes, we didn't cover a few teams because they were on byes. Miami will be coming back against Vegas, the Rams versus Seattle. The Chiefs will be up against Philly, and there you go.
It's the same matchup with the Eagles and the Chiefs, which is a Super Bowl rematch. Of course, the NFL, NBC, ABC, ESPN, they've been hyping this matchup coming up next week between the Chiefs and the Eagles. And it also affects the power rankings. Let's put those up there because that's what it's all about when it comes to which one? Well, which one do we want to do? Do we want to do that one? Yeah, let's do the. Well, what happened? We're scrolling through everything there. Wow, the graphics are possessed. The graphics are possessed.
I didn't open the damn power rankings tab. Hang on, motherfucker.
Well, if you've got the if you want to go to the playoff one, that's fine too.
Do that.
Yeah, let's do that one. ESPN sports analyst Seth Walder has already put up playoff projections at the end of week 10. This is you shouldn't really start talking about the playoffs until after week 9, which is a halfway point. He does have percentages out. I just couldn't fit them into the graphic, but he grouped all 32 teams. These are his projections, not mine. Those are my graphics, but He states that the contenders for the Super Bowl are the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the 49ers. His next one says that locked in for the playoffs are the Cowboys, the Lions, the Dolphins, and the Ravens. The next tier that he calls likely in as long as it's not a collapse. Bearing a collapse is how he put it on ESPN, and that's the Vikings, the Jaguars, the Browns, and the Seahawks. The next one he titled Leaning Towards Yes. That would be the Saints, the Bills, and the Bengals. Then as we get further down, Fringe of Hope and Despair, that's the Steelers, the Texans, the Chargers, and the Falcons. Stranger things have happened with the Jets and the Bucks. Of course, had Aaron Rodgers not gotten hurt, the Jets would be a viable contender, but now they're just barely holding on. Unlike the Colts, the Rams, the Packers, the Commanders, and the Broncos have a very slight chance of getting in. And the final group of 7, the Titans, the Bears, the Raiders, the Cardinals, the Patriots, the Giants, and the Panthers, they might as well start planning for 2024 because combined, they all have a 5% chance or under of getting in. One team has not been fully eliminated yet. It's still mathematically possible for some of these to get in, being the ones in the smaller groups, but nobody has been booted yet. Nobody's in the red.
Yeah.
Here are the power rankings, and this is why I'm very happy to present these. As you can see, the Eagles are still the number 1 team because they have their best record at 8-1, but right below them, this is the highest the Lions have been in 4 seasons. Number 2, 7-2 at 241. And there is a scenario which I will present at the end of this. KC is the number 3 team. They are there 2 weeks in a row because of the bye week. Ravens are 7-3 all by themselves as the number 4 team at 270 points. Miami leads the league in points at 285, but they are 6-3. Cowboys are 6-3 as well at 269. 49ers are 6-3 at 252. Browns round out column 1 at 214. Seattle is at the top of column 2 at 200. And the Jaguars are at 196. And the Steelers are at 156. And the Vikings are all by themselves right in the middle of column 2 at 6-4. Texans, Bengals tied 5-4, 217 points for the Texans, and Bengals at 182. Bills are at 262. They're at 500 at 5-5, along with the Colts, and that rounds out the left. The Saints top off the right, and in column 3 at 214. Raiders at 172. And then everybody else is below 500, whereas the Chargers, the Broncos, the Bucks, and the Jets are all 4-5. Not too bad in the dropping category. There wasn't a major climb or a major drop, unless you count Jacksonville. They dropped 5 spots, but nobody else really jumped 4 spots. Tampa Bay did jump 4 spots, but that's as high as anyone goes. The Commanders and the Falcons are 4-6, and that rounds out column 3. Packers top out column 4, followed by the Rams and the Titans at 3-6. The Bears are by themselves at 3-7. Cardinals and Patriots and Giants are 2-8, and the Panthers are back at the bottom of the barrel. Now, here's the scenario. The Eagles play the Chiefs next week. The Lions also are playing, I'm not certain as to who they are. I did write it down. But
the Lions are playing Chicago.
All right. Yes.
They're playing in Detroit.
Yes, at Ford Field. Now, if the Eagles beat the Chiefs, the Eagles retain the number 1 spot at 9-1. There's no way around that. For the Lions to be number 1, KC will have to beat the Eagles. That will put both teams at 8-2. The Lions will have to beat the Bears. It's a rivalry matchup. So this game is huge in their division. The Lions already have the points over the Chiefs. So as long as the Lions score more points than the Chiefs do in victory, next week, this can happen. The Lions will be the number 1 team. And after 4 years, I know people in this circle that will be so thrilled if the Lions get the number 1 spot. It'll mark your calendars at November 21st. Around this time, I want to put the Lions in the number 1 spot.
Yes, Jeff.
I mean, I'll just be happy because the Eagles aren't number 1 anymore, if I'm being 100% honest. Because to hell with them. It's happy for the Lions fans, not going to lie. Like, for real.
Yeah, we know it's you.
But, yeah, just detest the Eagles so friggin' much. Since Big G was unable to retain internet use because his computer went wonky, before we go to the rest of the NFL stats and everything else, we're going to do his shills real quick while I'm thinking about it because they are important, by God. Here we go.
Hello, pals. Alyssa Marino here. And as a friend of Parker Kane Promotions, I am super excited to share the awesomeness that they've got in store for you this November at WrestleCade. You'll be seeing the world-traveling Capital Championship Wrestling Global Fighting Champ Rebecca J. Scott, a rising star who's been featured on Ladies Night Out, NCW, and more, the stunner Emily J, an internationally traveled talent who you've seen on NXT UK and Stardom, Angel of the Ring Zaya Brookside, and NWA World Women's Tag Team Champion Chicago's sweetheart Missa Kate will also be appearing live. It's all going down WrestleCade weekend in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. You can catch these stars brought to you by Parker Kane Promotions on Saturday, November 25th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And be sure to stick around for Ladies Night Out the following day on Sunday, November 26th. You can get your WrestleCade weekend tickets at WrestleCade.com. Tickets at WrestleCade.com.
There are more names added to that list from Big G, but at the end of the day, it just kind of is what it is. I don't have the graphic right here handy, so sorry about that. But yeah, there you go.
So I was just taking a look, since we're in East Tennessee. In current traffic conditions, it would take us 3 hours and 51 minutes to get to Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Yeah, I want to go to WrestleCade for a couple of years. It's just so far for me out here in Cali. But yeah, if you guys can make it, shit, go. The thing is, it's next weekend. It's the weekend of Survivor Series. So that'll be the challenging thing is trying to do Survivor Series, The reason why I wasn't like, I got to go because somebody's got to run the table. And I don't have the money, quite frankly, if I'm being honest. I was trying to save money for WrestleMania. That's not going to happen either. But anyway, mainly because the Eagles took away from me this year, bastards. Anyway, back to the NFL.
Indeed. If the playoffs started today, and this is courtesy of ESPN, that is their graphic, the Chiefs and the Eagles would be the number 1 teams. They would get the bye into the next round. The remaining 6 teams from each, the division leaders and the 2 wild cards would then square off in a 2-7-3-6-4-5 format. That would pit the Ravens against the Texans, the Jaguars against the Browns, and the Dolphins against the Steelers. That would be on one side. On the other side would be another rivalry matchup, 2 versus 7, Lions versus Vikings in the first round. I know. And then there'd be another rematch between the 49ers and the Cowboys. We know what happened 2 years ago in that matchup. And the Saints would take on the Seahawks. This list will change weekly, each week. As players play, teams can switch around, and this will be part of their. Renegade says, if the Lions make the Super Bowl, will Usher bring Eminem out during the halftime show? Let's go one further. Let's bring out Kid Rock and Kiss.
It could happen.
But Usher and Eminem are buddies. That's why he threw that out.
I know, but Kid Rock and Kiss is Detroit.
Well, so is Eminem.
So is Eminem.
Well, so we'll just make one big performance, Heck, how about Eminem does a sample of Rock and Roll All Night and Kid Rock comes out and just, I don't know.
All summer long.
All summer long. There you go.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Mikey! For fuck's sake, Mikey!
That's what I was going for.
And stranger things have happened. So, I mean, you never know. You never know.
You never know with the halftime show. But
Everything could change before Super Bowl ever actually happens. So,
indeed. All right.
Yes.
That completes everything.
no, it does
Oh,
not.
right. Nope. We have the pick'em contest. Let's not forget that. We did
Well,
lose.
do you want to know what your division lead, who your division leaders
Oh, yes.
are?
Division leaders. Yes. Go ahead.
You'll see, he's trying to kick me out of the show. I swear, he only wants me for my stats.
Watch.
All right, for the AFC East, you have your Miami Dolphins being 6-3. For the AFC North, it's the Ravens at 7-3. AFC South has the Jacksonville Jaguars at 6-3, and then the AFC West is the Kansas City Chiefs at 7-2. Moving over to the NFC East, Philadelphia Eagles 8-1, as we know. The NFC North. Yes, I'm actually happy to report this, but I'm sad at the same time. The Detroit Lions are 7-2 with my Vikings right behind them at 6-4. Packers and Bears are not even a thought right now. NFC South, those New Orleans Saints that my beautiful Vikings beat, 5-5. And the NFC West leaders are the San Francisco 49ers at 6-3. And yes, that's right. I said the 40 Winers. Deal with it. Okay.
Wow. All right, in the football pick'em contest in Week 10, Emmanuel took the win with 11, Daniel at 10, Dori Lou and JP tied at 9, Pop and Big Baller G at 8, Zach at 7, Nathan at 6, and Renegade at 5. Overall, JP still has the lead by 1 pick. 95-94. Dori Lou and Emmanuel are tied in third. They are 6 and 7 off the top two, 7 off the lead. Nathan's at 87. Pop and Renegade tied at 79. Big Baller at 78. And Zach is at 73. That
I actually have, believe it or not, Mike, you actually have behind the scenes footage, believe it or not, of JJ and I trying to help you along with booking the Super Bowl halftime show and the songs you're going to be playing.
I'm trying to maintain my composure, but I can't make no promises.
Yeah, well.
Oh, yes, Emmanuel, you won a game. Awesome.
Actually, there is one small piece of baseball news that just came through the wire. Shohei Ohtani was among 7 players who turned down $20.3 million from the Angels. He turned down $20 million. If I knew how to say, "Are you out of your mind?" in Japanese, I would do it. $20 million, not as easy. You said no? Ohtani-san, what is going on?
He doesn't want to play for a team that's not going to win the damn World Series, Mikey. It's just not, they've shown consistent levels of inconsistency. They haven't done dick in over 20 years, other than the division championship. And we all know how much Anaheim covets those division titles.
Indeed.
There you go.
They don't mean shit at the end of the day. They don't.
That they do. And that officially closes the week in sports. What a good show. What a good show.
Yes.
Starting off with the shills, the main one that's been at the bottom of the screen.
Excuse you, that's not what we're starting with. That's what we're ending with.
Okay, fine.
Goodness gracious, Michael.
Oh, wait, I have a question.
Oh, yes.
Okay, well, hang on. But before you ask your question,
for fuck's sake, Mikey!
It never gets old.
I'm looking at Renegade's comment. We said bye to someone, didn't we? What did we miss? No?
Nothing.
Okay, never mind.
Don't worry about it.
All right.
No, it was going to be brought up, but it's
okay.
It was an internal matter that was dealt with internally, and Mikey did want to point out that, and JJ had a very good point about it. So I, as producer and whatever, let me just say this: whenever we go out on the air here, whether it's on the sports bar or one of our wrestling streams or one of our open forum, whatever, we tend to consistently put the rules of a particular chat in our chat room over there. If people violate those rules, we do point it out in the chat room. We are verbalizing it now. And I'm going to take the mask. Yes, you see my face doing this. when you've been told repeatedly to not do something, be it in a private chat, which did happen with this person we said bye to. If you've been told repeatedly in the chat room, on a live stream, which happened to the person we said bye to, and you're told if it continues to happen, you're going to be timed out, then banned. It's going to happen. We're grown folk here. Okay? We mean what we say what we mean. All right? And on top of that, when you are told that is the end of things by a network head or a channel head, you do not go to, with all due respect to you two, a talent and try to ask for a reprieve after management tells you no. That's the way this works. And I'm sorry if that comes off like a dick to anybody not in the know or even to our talents. JJ and I have to run this thing like a business because it is the business of our business.
Correct.
And I sincerely mean it when I say I am sorry that feelings were hurt and that feathers were ruffled, however you want to phrase it. Okay? But as much as I hate to admit it, I'm feeling more like CM Punk every day. I am too old and too tired to be dealing with fucking children about this. I just am.
You do what you have to do.
Yes.
And this happens in life. Sometimes you got to make the tough choices. Yeah. I still have that problem. Okay. As much as I say I'm owner and proprietor of Statboy Sports Bar. Yes, I write the stories and all that. I still do what my brothers tell me to do as far as this show. If they tell me, do this, and this, yes, we'll have a discussion about it. I'll try, and then something also happened, and then I get the "I told you so" about it, which also happens in this case. But at the end of the day, they are in charge of me as a talent, as far as
the channel that we produce.
Exactly. As far as scripts and things like that, I have control over that. I have control over the pick'em contest. I have control over the fantasy leagues, and those are mine. And I choose to put out that information. And I also want to do it respectfully. I don't do it out of malice. I don't say, this person is gone. That's not my style. I do not do that. I want to keep, I want to keep kayfabe. I want to keep things, happy and polite and proper and all that. That is my goal. That's all I'm going to say about it. I tried. I really did. I did try to, but at the end of the day, you reap what you sow. You dig your own hole. You make your own bed. Lie in it. I'm sorry. It just didn't work out. Bottom line. Go ahead, Dori Lou.
I apologize for opening that can of worms.
No, you're fine. That's okay.
But I will say, yes, I mean, we do have to deal with the fact that we are grown-ups, but not all grown-ups are exactly mature and know how to handle themselves as grown-ups.
Yeah.
And we do. It is Mikey's Sports Bar, and I'm so thankful that he's brought me into being his partner in the show. And thank you to our producers for letting me to continue, even with some of my idiosyncrasies. We've got most of that is under control now. But what it comes down to is if we want to change formats or do something different, we have to approve it through our producers first.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with that. It's, idiosyncrasies is one thing. Being told one thing and continuing to do it, or being told one thing and going, it's like going to one parent asking permission, being told no, then going to the other parent. It's like, no, that's not how it works. So anyway.
Yeah.
And
on to the shills, because that's what we got to do.
Yep.
We got to pay the bloody bills.
Thank you, Manuel. Thank you, everyone who regularly checks in with us and sticks around with us and helps us get through each show with our
and for the record, the person in question leaving the pick'em did not have anything to do with JJ's and my decision. That was that person's decision to leave everything.
Yes.
Yes,
Their choice.
there was a question asked, and I did not answer the person because I was busy prepping the show, and I had plans to answer, and I was gonna say, basically what I said in the little mini rant. He's in charge. What he says goes. It's his call, not mine. If you want to stick around, that's fine. But the decision was already made to leave. And once you make that decision, I'm not going to go back and I'm not going to say, oh, he's back in just like that. Once I make a call, I don't want to go back on my word. And putting the fantasy stuff together does take up a lot of my time. So if you're going to say I'm out and I make the call and I put the rules in place, I'm not going to go back and say, oh, delete. And it's just not like that. It's not personal. It is not personal at all. That's never my style. I'm going on the Godfather mentality here. It's not personal. It's just business. I tried. It didn't work out. Good luck to you. I hope you land on your feet, and we'll go from there. Let's get the show started because it's almost the top of the hour and things to go from there. What's coming up next?
Well, first of all, we want to give a shout out to our brother JJ. Today's episode of For the Love of Wrestling, which recap Monday Night Raw, is at 200 views. So
200 views.
That is
impressive.
Cool. So give his recap of NXT the same love tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern, as he talks about whatever's going to go on here at the top of the 8 o'clock hour for him, because he's watching it on West Coast time, unlike some of the East Coast folks. So check that out tomorrow. Also, special night, same time. Wow, that's really zoomed in. Jesus Christ. Let's get up just a smidge. There we go. Hi. Wednesday, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific. Basically, Greg and I are switching because I have something going on Thursday. Greg has something going on tomorrow. So we are switching nights for our shows to be up. Of course, JJ will be reviewing Dynamite morning, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. Greg Cherry Show again Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific. That may be the last time we see Maddie. We see Josh Mansfield. If he actually happens to show up for the show, maybe the last time because of Saturday, but we'll get there. I, of course, will be on my way to OG Collectibles to meet the AEW World Champion himself, generational talent himself, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. So that's why I will not be on the Greg Cherry Show this week. So there's that. Also, Thursday night, our Noah and JJ will be simply predicting Full Gear coming up at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. And then after that, at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 Pacific, we'll be doing Throwback Thursday for TNA Throwback Thursday, as we count down toward the return of TNA at Hard to Kill in January. A fatal 4-way winner gets a contract X Division showdown at Destination X between Zema Ion, Jack Evans, Low Key, and Austin Aries. That's all Thursday night. Friday night, off we go. We are at war, brother. AEW Rampage and Collision, although Collision will be first. I need to change that graphic for the 400th time, I believe it is this week. Collision will be at our coverage will begin at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, because we're going to do it straight through. We're covering Collision, then Rampage, then the West Coast feed of SmackDown. That is all Friday night with our on-the-ground, on-site correspondent, Dattila, checking in when she can. And then there's Saturday. My goodness. Full Gear coming up starting at 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern. Again, Dattila will be already checked into the fabulous form by that point, but she will be checking in periodically throughout the pay-per-view, where, because Tony's going to run about 462 matches roughly. So she'll be checking in throughout the show. And then we get to Disney karaoke and open mic night. We've been looking forward to this for so long. That's why we're all in Disney gear all week long. And again, I messed that up. Give me a we'll come back and do it again in a minute here. Follow our buddy Big G, who we saw today on the Sports Bar. First time in a long time. Always good to see Big Baller G. He actually donated $50 in super chats toward Saturday's stream. So thank you again, Big G. Getting me over that $100 hump. It will be by the time we finish Saturday's show. I will have cleared the 100. So thank you again, Big G. Follow him across the socials, on TikTok, on the Twix, on Instagram, on Threads, all the things. Follow our buddy Zach, not here with us today, but you can catch Zach on the Twix at Fluffy Madden God, and on Instagram at DJ Mutt King Official. That's 1T, not 2 in Mutt. Follow me across the socials. Pretty simple. _ Jeff Meacham. Jeff Meacham on YouTube, Jeff Meacham Network on Facebook. That's pretty straightforward. Follow our home, Casa D-18 Studios, across the social media at the Renegade JJ Williams on Instagram, here on YouTube at Casa D-18 Studios, and on Twix at ROW JJ Williams. Dori and Mike, where can we find you folks?
Keep an eye out for us on the Facebook. You were using our names. Look at us on the Twitter at the Halfway Lou 1977. Use the hashtag StatBoyApproved and StatGirlApproved. Follow us on IG, Dori Lou and StatBoy13. Again, if you want to drop us a line, let us know what we're doing. Let us know what you want to talk about. Be respectful about it, as always, and we'll consider it. You know, that's what we do here on the Sports Bar each and every week.
All right. Now, before we get to our favorite part of the night, because we're getting close to the bottom of the hour here, I did want to briefly, let me see if I got the things in the right order. I don't. Okay, give me a second. There we go. So basically, how this is going to work on Saturday. If you donate $5, you get to have both wheels spun. Randomly, they will land on a category as far as breakdown of decades, easy for me to say with my sickness. And the wheel will choose your singer. For a $15 super chat, the wheel will still be random for your category, but you choose the singer. And if you donate $25, you choose the song and the singer. So that's pretty cool. We're lowering their prices this year because we know times are hot times, if you will, right now, baby. So we're lowering the prices for you because we know Christmas is coming. So yes, this Saturday, check us out, Open Mic Night. My goodness, is Dori participating? Is the question in the chat room.
Yes. Yes, Emmanuel, I will be there. I will be coming in a little bit late because I do have to work a late shift that night. So if everything runs smoothly, I should be here and on the air about midnight Eastern.
Which, knowing Tony Khan and the way he's going to run the show, you'll be right on time. So it'll be good.
There you go.
So there you go. All right. With our final outing before we have Stat Boy out, Dori Lou with our Weekly Delight.
Oh, yes. Trying to keep those positives going out there. We all need to keep some positives in our life to help us keep going. Even if it's just saying, good morning, I'm here to greet a new day. That can sometimes just be the biggest motivator or positive to get your day started. And let's see. Michelle Obama.
Ooh.
Yes.
There you go.
Former First Lady Michelle Obama. A lot of us put on an act every day when we walk out the door in front of certain people, in front of our coworkers, or whatever we have to do to get through the day. Put that Detroit Lion thing down.
Stop that.
Okay. Sometimes it's tough trying to figure out what direction you want your life to go. Who do you want to be? Who are you? Where are you headed? But this is something from Michelle Obama that people frequently need to keep in mind. And she says, one of the lessons that I grew up with was to always stay true to yourself and never let what somebody else says distract you from your goals. I'm very guilty of that. I've let people distract me from my goals. I'm now pretty well on course with some of my goals. And it takes a lot, but it does take a lot because people do try to think they know what's better for you than you do.
Yes. Agreed.
Listen to, there's always good advice out there, but if you have your heart set on something, if you have a goal in mind that you really, truly want to do everything you can to try to achieve this goal, don't let anybody put those roadblocks, get around those roadblocks, get around that negativity, turn that negativity into a positive or even and I told you so for that person who was so negative towards you.
That's right.
Are you taking a shot at me? Because if you are, you're doing a damn good job of it.
Yes. But before we sign off, I wanted to briefly go over here real quick because JJ brought this up in the chat room. I did mention that we were bugging Big G, but thanks to a very generous donation from Big G, because he won't be able to attend this weekend, we already have 10 spins at the $50. 10 spins at $5 for the wheel to work in during the show. So again, thank you, Big G, for your donation. I can't again, it's crazy that this is already, it's already November 18th this weekend. Of course, happy birthday to Mickey and Minnie. It's one of you who can't be there. And I did find out, Mikey, I actually was wrong about Disney. Everybody brace yourselves for a second here. I've been advocating for Pete to get celebrated on the 18th too, but I forgot he was in the Alice comedies for 3 years before Steamboat Willie was a thing. So that's my bad.
Oh, very good indeed.
He's actually older than Mickey and Minnie, but don't tell him that because he might,
no, don't tell
him. Go back from being Clubhouse Pete to Evil Pete and start, yelling at you.
Indeed. One more final bit note because Dori Lou brought up Michelle Obama. The Golden Knights were at the White House. They gave President Biden a hockey jersey and a golden hockey stick because of winning the Stanley Cup last year. That didn't throw that one out in there. But come back next week. We're going to do it all over again. We're going to close out a couple more sports, bring in some new ones. Keep going with week 11 in the NFL. Keep going, and hopefully the Vols will take out the Bulldogs, and we'll just go crazy. Bring out the cigars on that one. I love you all. Stay positive. Stay good. We'll see you next week. Stat Boy out.
The Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.